Da-da-da-da-da. Tom, have you seen it yet?
No.
Right, okay.
Sorry. Good start to the review. Fantastic. Thanks, guys. We'll be back next week.
I think, as always, with the majority of these review videos that we show at the start, it's thanks to Ben putting the time and effort in. So I think it's only right, Ben, if you want to kick us off. Obviously, the Black Widow movie, you was the first one out of us to see it, I think. So take it away.
Well, I went on Wednesday as the rest of the country watched football. I watched Black Widow.
Football.
No, well, yeah. To be fair, he's from overseas, isn't he? There you go. Buongiorno. But yeah, so I was actually quite apprehensive, coming into this film. I think the delay has just been unparalleled.
11 years, I think it has been, isn't it?
Yeah, but 11 and a half. It's just weird, isn't it, when you know something is finished and you can't kind of watch it just to have it sat there on the back burner. And I think since then, so much kind of speculation and stuff has been happening with the series on Disney Plus that does that kind of change things. Anyway, I'm really on the fence, I can't sit here and say that I loved it. I can't, because I don't think I did love it. I think the kind of, the MCU fanboy in me sort of tried to be really positive about it, but the more I thought about it, the harder I kind of find it to defend. I'll tell you the things I did love. I think Florence Pugh, who, I don't know if my wife's gone upstairs yet, but I've got a massive crush on. She was incredible as Yelena. I think she's really kind of carved out a fantastic version of that character there that I think is going to live a long life in the MCU, and that's really exciting to see where that will go. David Harbour, his Red Guardian is my spirit animal. I absolutely loved that kind of. It was like dad bod in the form of a superhero. It was, and just kind of just his approach to things and his sense of humor and kind of awkwardness, everything I loved. I love David Harbour anyway from Stranger Things and stuff. So I really enjoyed that. I didn't like, I think it needed to be more serious. I think it tried a lot to be funny and to kind of have that MCU humor, but I think it failed more often than it succeeded on the humor front. I think where it succeeded was David Harbour's Red Guardian and Yelena and stuff, but where it kind of failed was like Natasha's annoying kind of informant mate who could just like rustle up a Quinjet as you do. And why have we never seen him or heard of him? It felt very disjointed. It felt like he was there as just a kind of living red herring for the Taskmaster twist. The twist that I am, of course, talking about, obviously, spoiler warning, guys.
Yeah, hold on. I'm literally just
get it up.
Get
it up, nice and big. Spoiler warning. I'm fine with the twist. I actually liked the twist because I didn't see it coming. We've had 2 years to kind of stew on this film, build it up, and not at one point did I think this is what they'd do with Taskmaster. So I enjoyed it in that sense. But I think the problem lies in the kind of the way that character was in herself. Yeah. So I think she's very boring. She's mute. She's that kind of mute, mindless kind of, and even when she was brought out of that, it was still a kind of mute, mindless, person. Bit of a blank canvas, and we all know that Taskmaster in the comics is not like that. He's a great gobshite. He's very funny. His kind of skills and stuff are incredible at how he's kind of studied his craft over the years and learned all the things that he's learned. And I just felt like it was really kind of throwaway in the end. I am hoping that this will get a Mandarin style retcon down the line. So someone will maybe so we'll get the real Taskmaster who picks up the technology, the suit or something, and becomes the real Taskmaster down the line. I don't know. That's what I'm hoping for. And lastly, my massive pet peeve with the whole film is the main villain, Ivan Drago, or is it Ivan Drago, played by Ray Winston, incredible actor, the worst villain in an MCU film to date. It was like a cardboard cutout cliche of a Russian, crook. It just felt very lazy. It felt very non-consequential. I think the whole film felt non-consequential because you kind of know what's going to come. You know what's going to come. You know what's happened before, and you kind of didn't. I just didn't care enough as I should. So that's my 2 cents, or maybe 10 cents. But I don't know, Andy. I'll be interested to hear what you've got to think, my friend.
See, I don't have any notes, so I don't know if I can have an opinion on this.
I don't have notes. That was all off the top of my head.
And apologies for my echoey mic, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic. I didn't look too deep into it, and I just enjoyed it for what it was. I thought the story was fine. I thought the action scenes were incredible. Some of the fight scenes were fantastic. I thought the music accompaniment was superb. And I just loved some of the Easter eggs, which I'm sure we'll probably get into a little bit of Easter eggs in this and also for Loki. But it was, I felt myself watching it, looking out for the Easter eggs and trying to connect everything up. So maybe I missed some of the things that you've mentioned there, but overall, I really enjoyed it. And it would probably be a movie that we'll probably go back and watch once we've seen more of the Phase 4 movies, it'll all connect and it'll all make sense. But the big thing for me, the big takeaway from it was the Winter Guard potentially being something in the MCU. So the guy, what was his name? I can't remember. It was Ursa Major was the guy that he snapped his wrist. So,
the big guy.
Yeah, so that big guy's in the Winter Guard, and
is he the bear? Is that the bear?
The massive one, in the prison.
In the comic, he's like an alcoholic bear, and he even teased it by saying, that he's just like a big bear. Yeah. And I just thought that was quite nice. So go check out all those first appearances of the Winter Guard. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. Loved it.
What do we reckon with the Winter Guard as well? I reckon that could be great, the Ursa thing. But obviously, you've kind of got Red Guardian and Black Widow's mum knocking about. But Bucky, you remember when we were talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I was like, what the hell can Bucky do now? He can lead the Winter Guard, the Winter Soldier leading the Winter Guard. Just saying, throwing it out there.
Well, I've got to mirror what Andy said. I really enjoyed it. So obviously it's set. Well, this I got confused about this. So obviously the premise of it is that it's been set after the events of Civil War, and everything like that. But then on the phone, when Natasha's on the phone to General Ross, he talks about saying, "Well, we've just captured Barton. A shrinking convict, and then obviously Wilson, which is Falcon, Ant-Man, and Hawkeye." But then if this is set after it and they've just caught them, then surely it's tying in with it. It's carrying on from there. It's not set after it, it's set during it. Because if they've just caught them, then obviously it's not.
Do you guys ever get confused by Charlie's confusion? Like, Charlie's confusion is so deep that it then confuses me when I wouldn't have been confused. I wasn't confused about that before Charlie got confused.
Did I mention I like music?
But this is just one of the things. Like, obviously, the whole premise of it, and I didn't even know. I didn't spot this. My wife did. She was like, "Well, if it's set afterwards, how comes he's just said we've just caught them?" So surely it's in the same timeline. It's in the same. Literally, it's a couple of weeks after everything like that. But anyway.
Well, it leads straight on, doesn't it? It's like right at the end of Civil War, kind of leads into this, and then back into kind of Infinity War sort of time.
The one thing I did enjoy it, and as Andy said, the action sequences and everything about it was a really enjoyable film. There weren't nothing really serious to take away from it. It was a film you could just whack on 2.5 hours later. You've enjoyed an MCU film. It's not as intricate as the Avengers and stuff like that. But one thing I did really notice is that Yelena Belova, she is, I don't know if you guys have seen Killing Eve, the TV series.
Yeah.
There are so many similarities between Villanelle and Yelena Belova. Like it's unreal, it's uncanny. The way that she talks, the way that she carries herself, the way that she like even fights. And I don't know if that was done on purpose, but I kind of really like that because Killing Eve is wicked. And I think she needs to feature a lot more coming in the MCU. Like obviously towards the end of the film, we find out that this is all going to tie in, but I thought she was a great character.
Oh, she is Black Widow now for the MCU, and I think what will be interesting is, again, spoiler warning. It's been set up. We've seen Fantina. Is it Fantina again in the post-credit scene, and she's basically stirring the pot as Yelena is mourning her sister Natasha. She basically says, "This is the dude who killed her," and shows a picture of Hawkeye as Ronin. So what will be interesting now is do you think we'll get Florence Pugh in the Hawkeye series? There's been a lot of behind the scenes photos from the Hawkeye series, and we haven't seen Florence anywhere near that project. So do you think we're going to get that, or do you think that'll be continued in a film or just forgotten about?
I don't think there's enough substance for her to be in a film. I think it will tie into the Hawkeye series and then go from there, because she's like, there's something about her, like she's got a really big like character profile. Like I think she could do loads.
One episode I think of Hawkeye could be really cool to kind of have her come in trying to assassinate him or whatever, and then realizing that he's safe, don't worry.
I think we've got a fan of her here. He says Pugh was fantastic in the BBC espionage drama Little Drummer Girl a few years back. Great actress.
Yes, she's amazing. I actually fell in love with her as she played Paige, WWE's Paige in what's that film called?
I thought I recognised her, to be fair. That's a great film. Fighting with My Family.
Fighting with My Family, and also Midsummer is like one of my favorite horror films. She's incredible in that as well. So I love her.
But if I'm being honest, I think it was a thoroughly enjoyable film, and I thought
me too.
I thought it was a good.
Tom, we nearly left you out, mate. Any thoughts?
Yeah. No, I thought it was a really good movie, to be fair.
Good, thanks, Tom.
I thought it was a perfect mix of action and comedy, and it was just an easy to sit down and watch film. Like Ray Winston, he slipped in and out of Cockney, don't you think? No.
Oh, it's horrendous, the accent. I think it was a victim of when it came out. Like, this film should have been released when it was set, which was after Civil War. And I think Black Widow as a character, Scarlett Johansson as an actress deserved that film. And kids deserved that film a long time ago. And Andy is a father of girls, as I am. And I think you'll probably share the sentiment that this is an important film. Like, I can put this on and my little girl can watch a film centered around two kick-ass women, saving the day. And I think that's a kind of cool thing in itself.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, no, it's one of those movies that I guess for large parts of it, my girls could sat and watched it with me. They chose not to, but I would definitely, exactly. I definitely agree. It had a different vibe from the likes of Wonder Woman, and it just gave another female strong character that the little girls, as you say, could look up to and kind of aspire to. But one of the things that came into my head when I was watching it is, especially at the end, was what team are they trying to build? Are we looking at Thunderbolts here? Are we looking at Dark Avengers?
No, fun. Like, Dark Avengers sounds silly, I think, to the general audience. Like, obviously, we're all familiar with it, but I think Dark Avengers sounds silly to a kind of person that hadn't heard that before. I think Thunderbolts will come, will pass off a lot easier for the general audience. And I think with Thunderbolts as well is that, you can kind of do anything with that team. Really, doesn't necessarily have to be a bad team either. And I think that who we've seen she's recruited so far in Yelena and John Walker, they're both very kind of ambiguous characters in the sense that they've both got very shady kind of past, aren't pure good, but they are trying to be good. And I think that's a really kind of interesting theme.
Who do you think Valentina's? Do you think it's her team, or do you think she's working for someone? I have a theory. Do you think she's building a team for someone?
Get the tinfoil hat on.
Indeed. I'm interested to hear what you guys think first before
well, now you've said that, I feel dumb for not really having. I think it's a government thing. I don't know. I think it's just a government thing. I'm really excited to see kind of who they bring into that mold. What I think would be cool, muscle-wise, is we've seen Abomination in the Shang-Chi trailer, and I think that he could be really kind of fun to see as the muscle for that team. Come on, Andy, you're killing me. I want to know this theory.
I honestly think, first of all, I think General Ross has got something to do with it.
General Ross.
Yeah, I think he's.
Well, a really interesting thing on Ross is there was a line in this where she mentions that he's had various bypasses.
Yeah.
And he's on a crutch, isn't he? Which I don't think we'd seen yet. Correct me if I'm wrong. Are they hinting at a kind of illness that he then he is trying to solve?
Yeah.
And we know how he loves to have a fiddle with the old super soldier serum. Red Hulk.
Yeah.
Coming soon, maybe.
But Oracle, what's happening?
Yeah, come on.
Doctor Doom.
He's lost the plot.
Guys,
Andy has lost the plot.
It's been a great night. Andy has just fucking killed it.
See you, Andy. Didn't bring his note. Now he's talking about Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom, I think, is the person behind all of this, and that's who I think is creating this super duper team, and that's how we'll introduce Doctor Doom.
That'd be wicked.
No,
I'll tell you what, if this comes to light, this man here, right, has just smashed it.
That's not enough.
How do you know what Mephisto showed up in Loki episode 1? So why not?
Telling you, mark my words. It will happen. It will happen. What does the chat think? Did the chat think I'm absolutely crazy? Well, apart from that, but for this.
But honestly, I think this is the guy that told us to read Bunny Mask. So it could.
So take it with a pinch of salt.
And
did anybody read Bunny Mask issue 2?
No.
Yes.
No. Absolutely. No, I haven't either.
But I think I don't think it's not possible. I think it's definitely out there. Why wouldn't it be? Do you know what I mean? We've waited 11 years for a Black Widow film. I'm sure we could wait. When did we first see Doctor Doom? When he in the Fantastic Four with Jessica Alba?
He's in 2, isn't he? He's in 1 and 2 with Jessica Alba, and then he is in the other one, the newer one, which is
we don't talk about it, Tom.
We don't.
It never happened.
Someone said it's not worth watching, so I watched it.
Oh my god,
it's
never get that time back.
I mean, so on that, I think, to be honest, would you say it was a killer? I thought it was a killer. I thought it was a really enjoyable film. Before we get into the Easter eggs of it, I enjoyed it. Tom.
I loved it. It was great.
That's a moo point, mate. It's like a cow's opinion. It doesn't matter because you haven't seen it. It doesn't matter. But Ben, Andy's going to go for a killer, I guess.
I thought it was a killer. As killer movies go, it was there. Don't go into if anybody hasn't seen it and has muted us and watching this in the replay. Don't go into it with any expectations. Don't look into it too deeply, and just bear in mind that we've been spoiled with 3 fantastic Disney TV series, which we've been comparing this against. So there's not much they can do in 2 hours. They've had the opportunity 8 hours and 6 hours for 7 hours for TV series. Yeah. So go into it, enjoy it for what it is.
Benjamin, Mr. Marvel.
I can't say it's killer, guys. I can't do it. I feel like if Red Guardian had one more like kick-ass scene, like if we actually got to see him kick ass rather than just like being a joke, then I might have moved it up to killer. But I can't give it that. It's not a binner by any stretch of the imagination.
It's just on the side.
And if you put it up against,
teetering on the edge,
70% of the DC films, it's killer. But yeah, it's a teeter for me. It's teetering.
teeter.
Right.
Can I make a suggestion, Ben? Could we see you cosplay as Red Guardian for Thought Bubble?
Oh my god,
guys! I lack one of the key features of that character, or
you can buy
I lack
a beard.
Not like that glorious though. And
but
that,
if you
like,
start now, what
one.
if you started now?
I'll grow one. I'll give it to you.
I've got the belly, that's for sure. I felt triggered seeing him squeeze into his costume. It literally looked like a scene of me before every convention.
I loved it. I thought it was great, but I'd like to see you as Red Guardian. I think that's what we
Watch this space, guys.
We need to get a GoFundMe page going to see Ben as Red Guardian.
Patreon. Sponsor me. Give me money.
Who's going to start on the old Easter eggs?
I haven't got many. There was one where she said about her dad being Crimson Dynamo.
Hold on, let me just change this because Tom decided to do one, so let me do that.
He was like, I haven't seen this film. Finally gave in.
He's literally left. I can't even put him back. Oh, here he is. He's back in now.
Yeah, the Crimson Dynamo.
Do anything.
Can't find the staff. It's because I'm not in control this week, Tom. Sorry, mate.
Yes.
Was you last week?
Kicked out.
No, I was not. Wow. That hurt. Crimson Dynamo, she mentions, or she like kind of quotes him. And I like that because obviously Crimson Dynamo is a big part of the comics in the Russian superhero world. So that was kind of the only one I could think of. Obviously, we've already spoke about Winter Guard and Thunderbolts and stuff like that. Was there any others?
Yeah, so apparently
the vest.
Yeah, no, the vest. Obviously, yeah, that's like she gets that and then she wears it in Infinity War. That's kind of not really a new one, but when she's sitting in her trailer and she's watching the James Bond film Moonraker, and she's like mimicking everything like that. Yeah. That film takes place on a satellite in the sky that floats around. Right. And at the at the beginning of that film, I think James Bond jumps off it into a parachute and it kind of like replicates like the Red Room and stuff. And then I just thought it was pretty niche that the way that the ending of the film is filmed on a satellite floating in the sky and she kind of mimics what James Bond does and jumps off at the end with a parachute. So I thought that was quite cool.
Yeah, nice. I don't like James Bond, so I would have never have got that. But very good.
And the main one I had was the plane that's in the movie. The number is 258, and Incredible Hulk issue 258 is the first appearance of the Soviet super soldiers.
Very good, very good.
And he also said the Red Guardian said that he fought Captain America, and it'd have been about 1980-ish that he'd have done it. So I had a bit of a wild theory that I sort of done a bit of googling on, and a few people have said it. But do you know how Stan Lee had the cameos on all the movies? Mm-hmm. What if Stan Lee was ultimately Captain America? He was like Captain America, or he was a character of Captain America in all the movies. And in 1984, he met the Red Guardian, and we see something in one of the movies coming up that he was, when the Red Guardian met Captain America, it was actually Stan Lee.
That sounds wicked. That sounds, we definitely need our little tinfoil hats out. I like that.
Yeah, he's gone off the rails. I'm really worried about him.
No way.
Dr. Doom and Stan Lee as Captain America.
It's like, wow.
You know what? I'll be honest. The end of Endgame, I kind of wanted that to be who was sat there, not Chris Evans all old. I kind of wanted that to be Stan Lee, to be fair.
I think he passed by that point.
No, I thought they'd superimpose him at that point to just be like,
right.
You know, I was Captain America all along, sort of thing.
Just like a rubbish like PNG of him with like
a bit like how they did
white around his head and
Henry Cavill's mustache.
Oh, don't remind me.
Right, so have we got any more?
It's like that the whole time.
Looks like he's had a stroke in that opening scene. It's the
It
worst.
is. It is. Have we got any more theories? I've got one more. I'm not really sure. It says, I wrote it down. WHIH25 is presumably a local affiliate for WHIH World News, which is the MCU's go-to fake news channel, which broadcasts
Fake news.
that have appeared in the Immortal Hulk and Iron Man 2. And that's what
Are you reading that from BuzzFeed?
100%.
That
where
one
he gets
I am,
all
yeah,
of his.
yeah, that one I am, 100%, yeah, because I was like, what the fuck is
Is this what you meant by notes? Make sure you have notes.
It's just screen grabs of different captions. That
Yeah,
I've
he didn't
seen.
say his notes. He just
No, I
went
didn't say
someone
that.
else's.
No. Andy, that's where you missed it. We didn't say our notes. We just said notes in general.
Just plagiarism.